Family. It's pretty important. I've been pondering something ever since I've become a father. Sometimes I look down at my little son and I think to myself, he is so innocent. He's completely incorruptible at this stage in life. All of the world's problems and all of the world's hate and all of the world's anger hasn't been put onto that little baby's soul yet. And whatever I teach him as he gets older is what he'll stick with for the rest of his life. My values will become his values. My ideas of what will be acceptable will become his ideas of what will become acceptable. Everything I think, say, or do will affect him in some way, either willingly or none. So having stewed on all of that, I came to a really uncomfortable conclusion. Every, and all family vlog channels on YouTube are in fact evil. Whether it's the single mom trying to make extra money on the side, the big clan of conservative Christians living in the wood, or the bougie LA families who like to show off their perfect life in a rented mansion, which they couldn't afford. Every single one of them are terrible parents. Now I could easily attack them for the finances, because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's about the money. But I want to start with this from the human element. Think of when you were a 6-year-old child. Your concept of morality and your concept of reality were warped. You didn't see the world for what it was. You saw sticks in the ground and you saw dirt that you wanted to build into little piles and eat. Anything beyond that was just lost on you. So let's take that same 6-year-old you, grab a video camera, and whenever you're doing anything normal in your development years, mommy and daddy are right there with this glaring into your eyes as a flash shines in them, capturing every waking moment of your life. Significant or not, it doesn't matter to them. You're a product. Unfortunately, you just don't realize it yet. Now, you tell me, if every single waking moment of your life was recorded, edited, and splashed on the internet for millions to see, would you or would you not develop a complex? Remember, we're talking about long-term damage. Obviously, a 6-year-old isn't going to understand that, but by the time that 6-year-old becomes 13, he's going to see all of these videos of him as a kid that he has no knowledge of, he had no control over, and were just taken by his parents because they assumed and wanted and said they had the right to do so. All for them to gain profit off your childhood, which you never saw a cent of. For a good 4 to 5 years thus far, you've had this shiny object in your eye. You have been coached, directed, pushed, and told what to do by your parents whenever this shiny object is on. You weren't able to live the normal life of a child. You were raised an actor in your own home, and you didn't even know about it. And you want to tell me that that's not going to mess with your head just a little bit? The fact that you were never truly able to be yourself because this device was watching. Your parents were watching. Your childhood was not your childhood. Your childhood was their content. And that's all it was to them. No matter how much they want to smile and they want to say to themselves, oh, I recorded these precious memories so that I can look back on them later in life. No. Because if that was true, none of these videos would be online. It doesn't come down to that. They saw a chance to make money off of this innocent little child and they took it. Stew on that. But let's switch gears for a moment. We've talked about the human element. Now let's talk about the financial incentive. Obviously, we all know it. You can get rich online. Hell, it's why half the people online exist. An overwhelming majority of them wouldn't even touch YouTube if they didn't think they could make a buck off it. Which, sure, you don't have a passion for it. You just want to make money, whatever. At least you, as a YouTuber, are putting an effort to make content to entertain. These family vloggers aren't even doing that. The financial incentive is there for them to take, but not off the merit of their own skill, not off the merit of their own entertainment value. No. They're going to turn a profit off their children's cuteness. They're going to turn a profit off their children's ignorance. And they're going to do it every single way they possibly can. They're going to get this 10-year-old to sign brand deals that he or she doesn't even understand. They're going to force this child into a work week. And even if it's a minimum work week of, let's say 2 hours of recording a day, you're still forcing that child into a work schedule. They're going to put that child on a plane to fly them across the country. They're going to take that child on meet and greets. They're going to set up an Instagram account for that child, a Facebook for that child. They're going to set up a Patreon if they can for that child. And above all, they're going to make that child rely, not kind of enjoy, rely on the attention and love they receive online from strangers. I do not give a wet shit on how good of a parent you are. There is no goddamn way in a million years a child going into a teenager is not gonna look at comments online and get a sort of self-confidence, a little bit of an arrogance to them, all because of a bunch of artificial comments that their developing brain won't be able to interpret and understand correctly. Their emotions will rely solely on positive and negative feedback from a bunch of, well, let's be honest, wank stains who don't give a crap about the child and just kind of get a kick out of being an ass. How horrifying. But since we're on the topic of relying, I want to bring this batting average to a home run. Do you not realize that you are fundamentally changing the dynamic of yours and your child's relationship? As a YouTuber, you have to be a production company. You are the cameraman, you are the editor, you are the talent manager, you're the promotionist, you're the After Effects guy, you're the guy who gets donuts, the guy who doubles down to make sure everyone is on point, obviously. So when you translate that relationship from instead of you being the talent and the content, all of a sudden your child is the talent and content. Without them, you have nothing. So you're not a parent, you're a talent manager. And eventually, if you get successful enough, you, as the talent manager, rely on the talent. You rely on the talent to do certain things to make the most views. You, as the talent manager, need to ensure that the channel doesn't die. So you, as the talent manager, coax the talent into doing things that they wouldn't normally do. And small things like, oh, I don't know, let's say we have a child named Cody. Telling Cody, oh, Cody, could you go play in the sandbox and dance around and laugh real hard? Or, oh, Cody, I'm sorry, this sad thing happened. Could you pretend to cry a little bit? All of a sudden become big things when you add them all together. And all of a sudden, you're no longer a mother. You're no longer a father. You're just businessmen and women exporting your product, which is your child, to the world. And eventually, the child's concerns about what's good for them dwindle. Because after all, what's more important to you? Your child's ability to live a normal, not in the public eye life, or the roof over your head that's paid for with that child's life? Please, think about that for me. I know there are a couple arguments that could be made to how I feel about this. And that's fine if people want to have those opinions. But objectively, if you think about everything that entails with a child being a YouTube star, it is way more harmful than to be one than to not. Yes, the money is great, but you're burning away these few precious years you have with this kid, holding up a camera and seeing them through a lens and a gateway to make yourself richer. It's not me who's gonna suffer. I will see my child grow up. I will respect the process and I will teach them how to grow up. It's you who are gonna look back in suffrage. You selfish, selfish monsters. There is one more thing I'd like to mention before I go. Inevitably, within the next 10, 15 years, one of these children, possibly yours, is going to sue the living shit out of you. And they'll win. They will. They will argue that you exploited them and kept all of that delicious money to yourselves, even though truly it is mostly entitled to them. And when that court case happens and that child wins, there will be an absolute windfall of these children from all around the world or everywhere it takes place, suing their parents for unpaid labor. And when that happens, I'll laugh because you deserve it. Legally, you have to subscribe. My name is Dino, and I'll see you next time. Oh shit, that's another kid.